Hot takes with no outs and so outs. What's your name and what do you do?
Griff Green, I'm an OG DAO guy, serial nonprofit crypto founder, founded Giveth, Node. Right now I'm working on QAC, unicorn.eth, pairwise, and still Giveth.
Sweet, man. That all sounds cool. So what is your hot take today?
My main hot take, I mean, I kind of have two hot takes. I'm not sure exactly where this conversation is going to go.
Okay.
But I think the first one is that Web3 security is a complete fucking joke.
Really? Like in terms of like Web3 makes
Like-
your data more secure and all that?
Yes, basically your financial security being like a non-custodial, like I have a crypto wallet, look at me, I'm so safe. It's a complete fucking joke.
Are you saying just like the applications on top of blockchain or blockchain is a joke in terms of
No,
Web3
blockchain
security?
is good. The
Okay.
tech is good, but we don't take it seriously.
Okay.
Like we are not building tools that actually protect users from real problems.
Okay.
The devs have all these crazy ideas about this, like, oh my god, but we're going to do secret shame so that when they log in with Google, the key is going to be shared on these 5 different servers, and then it's all going to be safe for the user just in case something goes wrong. And then it's like Coinbase security calls them and they're like, hey, send all your money here. And they're like, okay. Like the actual things that people lose money with, people don't care. Like the actual people, I'll give the security devs a little bit of some love. Like they're seen as like protecting the herd, but then every day there's just thousands of scammers like kidnapping the cattle,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't care about the people kidnapping the cattle. They're just trying to protect the herd,
Gotcha.
right? And so like, yeah, MetaMask is not going to get hacked, but hundreds, if not thousands of users every day of MetaMask lose money from various things, whether it's scams, phishing attacks, or even just user error, sending money to the right address on the wrong chain, or sending their money to the actual token contract address. Like I run this, I run Giveth, which is a nonprofit platform. So we've been helping nonprofits raise money in crypto since 2016. And I have seen every single way you can imagine someone can lose money in crypto. Because nonprofits are basically like the lowest tech user of crypto, And it's and no one's trying to fix it. And if you think about it, like look, what was the biggest hack that ever happened in crypto? Happened a month ago. It was Bybit. $1.4 billion fucking dollars.
How did that happen, man? Can you break that down for us?
Yes, I can break it down. So basically, but it's very technical. Gnosis Safe was safe now.
They also
Gnosis
were
Safe.
part of the Radiant hack. I got fucked on. Radiant, get my money back. Sorry.
Yeah, for real though. Radiant, get them fucking money back. But so I don't know much about that hack, but the Safe hack, they actually, one of their devs got compromised, and they actually
like bribed or like
no, like hacked in some way.
Okay.
Like somehow, like North Korea got in there and actually compromised not the actual code, but how they built the server.
Okay.
And so when they actually deployed the code onto a server, they kind of just put like a little backdoor in there. I'm simplifying it a lot, but when they did that, they were able to fake the front end of Bybit's multisig so that when people were signing, it looked like they were signing something relatively benign. And then actually the actual transaction did not match what they saw on the front end. And it was really tricky because it wasn't in the code itself. It was actually in like how they deployed the server. So it was kind of a trick. But the main point here is, guess what? Everyone at Bybit still has their money. It was the largest crypto hack ever, but because it happened to a centralized exchange, actually no users were affected. People who hold money on centralized exchanges right now are clearly safer than the people who keep their money in MetaMask. And that's fucked up.
And is that the case because they had insurance and insurance covered it?
No,
Or
they
how
were
was
just
it?
profitable enough. Like they had so much fucking money
Yeah.
that
That's the casino exchange.
yeah.
They
But-
wanted to just cover it up.
Well,
Talking
they
like-
just covered the cost. They ate the
ate.
loss because they have so much. They're a money printer, man. They're making so much money every day. It's like okay,
$1 billion.
$1 billion that sucks, but
Must be nice.
it'll be like a couple of years and we'll get it back. So it's like it's fine, and they got some loans to cover whatever if there were any downsides in one of the currencies that they lost. It was mostly ETH.
So how do you Web3 security is bullshit. I agree with you. How is this problem getting solved? Are you seeing anything, like any progress anywhere?
Well, I think we just have to actually look at the real problems people have when they're holding money in a non-custodial way and address them. It's not rocket science. We just don't care. The security in Web3 is a joke because we don't make any effort to actually care about how people lose their money. They lose their money from phishing attacks when they click a link that they think is a real thing that they could get some money off of or whatever, and then it just drains all their
Man, you know what, man? The hackers are getting smarter and more clever. I'm not gonna say they almost got me, but when I was locked in New York and I was on the phone with you, Marco, some guy called me like, "Hey, what did he say? I'm Coinbase or something." He's like, "I'm from Coinbase," or I don't think he said he was from Coinbase. He said he was from somewhere, and such happened. And most of the time when you call him out, like, "Dude, I know you're trying to scam me, bro. Like, fuck off." Yeah. And he was like, "No, I'm not. I'm serious. Like, this guy was committed." Yeah. And I had to ask Marco, and he had to like look into it. It was like a really good. Like, they're getting good. Like, that would have gotten anyone else. And if I hadn't talked to him, I still wouldn't have done it. But I still would have been worried. Like, oh shit, am I fucked up right now?
Yeah. No, we were staying at a house here in San Francisco, and they had the exact same thing happen. Coinbase support called them. They told them, "Hey, our wallets are getting hacked or whatever, so we need you to make a cold storage wallet. Take one of your seed phrases and add it to this website, all branded as Coinbase. Everything looks super legit." She does it, and then she transfers all her money from Coinbase into that wallet. And he's like, "Yes, it's your cold storage. That's great. It's so good that you got your money in there. Okay, do you have any other wallets that could be at risk? Oh, you have a MetaMask? Yeah, send your money from MetaMask there too." And it's like Coinbase support, fake Coinbase support was able to steal basically all of her crypto. And
happened to my friends, like they took 18 grand like a couple months ago.
Do you know how easy that is to stop? It's insanely easy. Just put a time delay. Oh, you want to send more than half your money somewhere? You have to wait an hour. That's it. That's all you have to do. All of those scammers are now out.
Coinbase will never call you guys and say
you.
you're losing money. They will never call you, just like the IRS.
But you put a time delay on being able to move your money, and then they have time to talk to their crypto friend. Call Marcus, right? Yeah. Another one is phishing attacks, right? It's like some weird app that you just don't let them connect to any app. Like this permissionless stuff, it's way too overrated. It's like when you are going to the Apple App Store, you can't just download any scammer's fucking application. For good reason. They'll take over your phone. In Web3, just let them connect to anything.
Yeah, it's like banks are getting robbed every day. Like, it's hacks happening in like traditional world all the time that we don't hear about. But it's different with fiat currency because you can easily just add another money into a computer. When this stuff on blockchains, you can't do that. So how do you see the future panning out with that in mind? Because I don't think the hacks are ever going to stop. People are always going to lose money. But how do we really slow it down? Other than the things you already listed.
Yeah, well, you gotta give people this idea of permissionless is just a little bit overstated. Like, yes, it should be permissionless, but not every crazy feature needs to be right in the forefront. Like, have you noticed, like, if you want to delete your account on some of these platforms, they make you go into like kind of like one window and then another window, and then you have to type in delete or something, so because they don't want you to screw it up and accidentally lose all of your data on all of your network. Wait, hold on. We've been doing crypto for 10 years, and every other organization does stuff like that to stop you from screwing it up, and we don't. How is it? So we just need to care, honestly. It's not rocket science. Like, I think one of the first things that needs to go, because as bad as the scams are, honestly, at least at Give It, we've seen more people lose money because of errors than scams. I mean, absolutely lots of scams too, but like, I can't tell you how many people have accidentally sent money to the token address that they had to add some weird token to MetaMask, so they had copied that address in, and then they think they copied the other address, but they didn't, so they paste this other token contract address, so then they send the token that they want to send to its own contracts. And it's just gone.
Yeah. So what's the solution for that one?
You don't let people send money to 0x addresses.
And
That's
also,
the craziest thing ever.
test transaction first, always. I lost 10 ETH doing this back in 2020. $20. Even if you know it's right, test transaction first.
I have a very good friend. She runs she actually used to work at Giveth since in like 2018, 2019. And she made a test transaction of $1 to Coinbase. It was like USDT on arbitrum or something like that. And she sent $1 there, and she goes and she looks, and it's like, oh yeah, it says $1. And then she sends $3,000 there, and it just never shows up. She's like, what's wrong? Well, the dollar was the price of Tether.
Oh.
You know? So she sent $1 there, but when she looked, it was like, yeah, it's $1. You know, the dollar cents. It's the price of the currency. And so then when she sent $3,000 of this nonprofit's money that she is stewarding, you know, that they had spent a whole weekend deciding what they were going to do with it in like this retreat.
Just wasted a weekend at a retreat.
Yeah.
Just had a good time.
But you know what happens? Like I had, then they had all these plans. But you know what happens is like, I give it, you know, I'm like, well, that's just such a tragic thing. I'll loan, because what Coinbase told them is, hey, one day we will support Tether on Arbitrum, or I can't remember if it's Tether or USDC or whatever. And when it does, it'll show back in your wallet, right? But until then, sorry, it's gone. And so I'm like, okay, I'll loan you the 2K, and you can pay it back.
One thing about Coinbase, they have a lot of money that they've gotten sent to them on accidents that they hold. It was a project called, this is how I lost 10 ETH back in the day, 2020. It was a project called TNT. Probably went to zero by now. It was an ERC20 token, and you can send an ERC20 token to any ERC20 token address. So I sent the TNT to Coinbase ERC20 token address because I thought I could just send it, and I thought it would show up there, and it didn't. So Coinbase, they still had that,
of course,
but you know, they probably make millions of dollars in just people sending stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So they should probably like start up some kind of pot where they like get that back out.
Exactly. And how hard would it be to even just automate that? Oh, hey, tokens that aren't supported that get sent to our addresses, you know, we run this bot and we send it back, or we, you know what a lot of exchanges do now? There's a whole policy around this where they just keep 20% and then send the rest back.
Yeah.
You know, because it's so common. It's so fucking common that they actually have a whole policy around it. And and that's the thing. We all know these errors are happening all the time, that these scams are happening all the time. But there's no effort. You don't hear anyone talk about how we could fix it. It's basically me and Taylor Monahan. That's it. Like, I feel like we're the only people that are out there. And Taylor's too busy fighting North Korea all the time. So, you know, it's really, it's just really sad because we want to bring on the next billion or whatever. That's what my co-founder here, who is just on this book. It's like the other thing stopping it is it's just not safe, and we don't try to make it safe as builders. You know, the wallet providers don't actually try to make it safe. They're building for the degens, and they're not actually building for real people who have real problems. You know, and just trying to use this tech safely.
That's true.
I tell Vince all the time that one of the biggest things is we got to focus on the billions of people that have to be onboarded. It's just a small fraction of us that are participating right now. But we have to look at the bigger picture because it's not about us, it's about them.
I mean, why do people think crypto is a scam? Yeah, there's lots of scammers, and we're doing nothing to stop them. But also, lots of people just lose money because they make errors. It's like we made crypto a one-lane road on the side of a cliff with no guardrails. And if a scammer comes at you on the other direction in a truck, you're probably fucked.
No airbags in that car.
No airbags, nothing. You're just driving
convertible.
off the cliff. And you completely die. You don't get injured. You don't get, it's a convertible.
No seatbelt.
You roll, no.
Ejecto seat as soon as you go off of the cliff.
Something goes wrong, you're dead. You know? I mean, I'm talking like in 2017 at Giveth, we made a vault contract. And we had all sorts of nice stuff in there. You know, it was like when you wanted to make a payment, for instance, the Bybit hack. Mm-hmm. Dude, safe is supposed to be the safest thing out there, right?
They're 0 for 2 right now.
Dude, they're 0 for 5 fucking thousand. Okay? Like, do you know how, like, it's not hard. All you have to do is make a delay. That's all you have to do.
They should be called Gnosis Sketch.
Yeah. I mean, for $1 billion transaction, you're telling me you can't add a 5-minute delay with a cancellation period? Even fucking Gmail, when you send an email, it lets you cancel it.
Yeah.
You know?
True. I just undid an email yesterday.
Yeah. You know? But you can't do that with a fucking blockchain transaction. Just give me 20 seconds, man.
Yeah, seriously.
You know?
Seriously.
Like, most use cases don't need that instant thing. It's cool. Great. I'm glad it gives you a boner, Dev. But, like, that's not what actually people want. People want safety.
So what do you think is preventing from them wanting to solve these solutions, knowing that we have to focus on the billions that actually need to come in?
Web3 security is a joke. It's just a joke. They don't actually care about security.
They just
It's
care about
nerd
making
porn.
money and just like.
Yeah, and they don't lose money when their users lose money, right? They're not taking that seriously. It's kind of, they're far enough removed. The infrastructure providers are providing this infrastructure, and then there's applications that are trying to collect users that are using that infrastructure. And so there's kind of this like removal. When in Amazon's wallet, you know, they built the wallet and they're acquiring the users. They care more about the users in their closed ecosystem, right? And so they make the wallet and they give feedback to the wallet that's like this or that. Who builds a wallet? MetaMask. Why is MetaMask actually onboarding users? No. Other people onboard users to MetaMask. And then MetaMask is this like, there's like a distance. There's like, they're far enough removed that they don't get that immediate feedback. And that's something that actually, I brought up Taylor earlier. Taylor was always doing this, like doing a lot of like basically Ethereum support and getting all of this feedback from users. And that's why she's always hot on the tail of like, dude, I got all this feedback, all this data, these are the problems. And yeah, we just care about UX, you know? Like this update, there's an Ethereum update that's going to happen that'll make EOAs act kind of like smart contracts.
EOA?
Externally owned accounts, like your MetaMask wallet or a hardware wallet or any kind of wallet where there's a private key. Mm-hmm. They call that an EOA. And then smart contract wallets don't have a private key. It's kind of like if you have like a safe, it's code that's deployed on the blockchain that can hold money. And so those things are generally a lot safer, and they have a lot of UX improvements. There's this update to Ethereum that's happening. That's really cool. It's called EIP 7702, and it will allow you to make your EOA wallet, which is your private key wallet, actually a smart contract for a block. You can like make it have rules like a smart contract has rules.
Make your wallet like a smart contract?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but just for one transaction, right? And so what that does is it means like, you can be like, oh yeah, I want to send money here. I want to call this contract, right? And usually when you call a contract with your MetaMask wallet or with your hardware wallet, first you have to do an approve, then you have to wait, and then you have to do another transaction to do what you want to do, right? But with a smart contract wallet, you don't have to necessarily do that approve, so you can make that one button click, right? And if you want to send all the money out of your wallet, normally you have to make one transaction for that token, one transaction for that token, one transaction. But if you make it a smart contract wallet, you can kind of bundle all those transactions into one, make one transaction, send all the money out, right? But that makes the UX better, but it doesn't fix any security issues. Not a single one.
It could make it worse.
It doesn't make it worse. Well,
it could, but it doesn't.
It does. It does. It can make it worse.
Someone came in and swiped everything just in one day.
I'm just gonna send all this shit to the wrong place. Fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. But no, exactly. Yeah. That could totally happen. Phishers will have a lot easier time. You know, a lot of times phishing applications, they have to be designed when they're trying to raid someone's wallet. They actually look at the person's wallet, decide which single token has the most money in it, and then they get the person to approve that one token, because they have to do it one at a time. So then, like, actually someone who worked at Giveth, this happened to them. They had 20 grand in USDC, and they actually stole all of that USDC, but the rest of the money was still there, you know, because they could only do infinite approve on one. But now with this upgrade, they could actually make it where they just take the whole one.
They need to make the transaction manifest easier to read, because a lot of people don't know what the hell that thing is.
If Web3 requires education, we're fucked. people don't read anything ever.
That part.
You know, like we need to make it so that it's safer than PayPal.
Yeah.
It needs to just be straight up. You don't need to read a transaction manifest because like you can't interact with bad things.
You need to simplify the GUI and the gas and just all that stuff. Man.
Yeah, what is all this shit, right? Like the UX needs to be 10 times better and the safety needs to be at least on the table.
Yeah, they say freedom is enslavement to a set of rules, and right now there are none.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Well, shit, man, that was good. I gotta hear the second hot take.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So, the way I got into crypto security was that I was my first project was the DAO, right? And the DAO was like this infamous project in 2016 that raised $150 million, but Solidity was only 8 months old. The programming language that Ethereum uses, it was only 8 months old. It was a little too early to collect 14% of all Ether in existence and put it in a smart contract. So it got hacked for $50 million. 4% of all Ether that existed was stolen by a hacker. But we were able to hard fork the network.
That old network is Ethereum Classic, by the way, guys.
Exactly. And so on Ethereum, it was really interesting hack because on Ethereum Classic, the hacker still had the money. And also I hacked the DAO as well with some friends, and we had 10% of all Ether in existence. And then
that's badass.
When the yeah, it was free. But so then when the hard fork happened, we had 10% of all Ether Classic in existence, right? And so we gave it all back to DAO hackers, so the DAO token holders, I mean. And like long story short, the DAO hack was the only hack ever where everyone made money.
That's crazy.
Right? The hacker made money. Everyone who had Ether got a new currency printed for them called Ether Classic, and they could just sell it and make money, you know? And like the Ethereum Foundation.
And then forking started going crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And that happened before Bitcoin Cash.
Yeah.
Right? And so that kind of led the way to like, okay, a hard fork, we could make this work, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, and so, but anyway, I'm deep in the DAO space, right? Like I've been following DAOs and on-chain governance and how are we going to build something better than governments? Like that's really why I'm here. And that's why I care about security too, because I was hacked for $50 million. I got deep in the weeds. I actually helped rescue another major hack where $200 million. There was a multi-sig in 2017 called the Parity multi-sig where they had a bug in it. Can you imagine a bug in a multi-sig contract? You know, and 3 projects had their funds taken from that multi-sig, just like a hacker sent one transaction to the multi-sig and basically just took it over and took all the money, right?
That's crazy.
And so me and my buddies, we actually ran through all of the, I mean, we were kind of the white hat hackers from the DAO, and so we were a known trusted party, so we actually like, people reached out to us when there were problems, and we were kind of like right now there's the SEAL 911 team and like Sam Sun and all these like white hats in Ethereum that are always like helping everybody out. Like if you ever get hacked, you should go find SEAL 911 and just tell them, you know. And if you ever get hacked and you still have money left in the wallet that wasn't stolen and can be recovered somehow, you should go to rescue.money and they can help you get that money out. Just like some things to throw out there.
Very helpful.
Yeah, and I started rescue.money, so like I'm kind of biased here, but
fair enough.
But yeah. Anyway, so the Parity multisig hack happened, and we basically were alerted from one of the teams that had their money stolen. We looked into it, it's like, oh shit, and so then we just started stealing everybody's money. You know, we like anyone who had this multisig, we started just sending a transaction to them and taking all the money out of their accounts. And so when we started doing that, other people started doing that, but in 2017, it's like most of the people were actually the good guys, which is kind of fun, right? Those are good old days.
Those were the good old days.
Yeah, those are the good old days when most of the people that were hacking in Ethereum, they were actually good guys. So we were the most successful of the white hats, but there were like 2 or 3 other people that also stole some money and gave it all back, you know?
What a couple of guys.
Yeah, it was good. Those guys are my good friends now. We go to Burning Man and stuff like. But anyway, I've been following DAOs, and so I got in the security side from the DAO hack, but my real passion is building something better than governance. And I think that what I've seen in the DAO space has proven to me that we are never going to build anything better than TradGov if we actually rely on DAO politicians. If we have like, anytime there are politicians involved, there will be corruption.
Yeah.
Hands down, no other solution. But there are cool things in crypto that don't necessarily, that do governance without politicians, and they work extremely well. Like we were talking about hard forks earlier, right? Like, dude, the hard fork choice rule, like the fork choice rule, and like deciding which chain is the valid chain and that sort of stuff, that is algorithmic governance, and it's been working flawlessly.
It's been paying people.
It pays people. It's like you get rewarded for it. Like either there's a lot of technical things here, but like the Ethereum gas limit, so every block has a certain amount of computation that it can handle in Ethereum. And that amount is determined by the people who are running Ethereum nodes. It's just a variable that they set. And you never hear any drama about the gas price. Oh my God, it just went, or the gas limit of a block. Oh, it went up, oh, it went down. That happens all the time. As people are running nodes and they're like, yeah, you know what, I think it could go higher. And they get in a little chat room and everyone's like, yeah, you know, I think we could set it higher. And they're like, yeah, okay, let's set it higher. And every individual, there's no politicians. It's kind of like direct democracy, you know? Everyone votes individually and it just works, no drama. You know, sometimes people make campaigns, hey, we can make the gas higher, guys. Update it, you know? And then people do, or they lower it sometimes too, very rarely, but they do. And it just works.
Yeah.
But the second you have like I'm on the security council for Arbitrum, on every multi-sig for Arbitrum. I'm deep in the DAO, like I'm a delegate and all these things. And it's just a fucking shit show behind the scenes. Backroom deals, you know, in Arbitrum, they straight up say conflict of interest is a good thing.
Wow.
You know? It's like they just lean into it. It's like they know, yeah, DAO governance is kind of fucked and a joke, and it's just insider deals happening to each other. So like, it's gonna be corrupt. Let's just let it be corrupt. I mean, it's that bad, man. And like Optimism tries, they have like a pretty good conflict of interest policy, but like in the end, it's still just the foundation top down telling everyone what to do. You know, DAO governance is such a joke, but algorithmic governance, quadratic funding. Have you guys seen quadratic funding?
Define.
Quadratic funding is what Gitcoin does. So Gitcoin and Giveth, we do it as well. There's a few other projects. It's like they kind of have like a democratic matching pool. So when you donate, like most matching pools in like the normal world, it's like, hey, if you donate $100, we'll also kick in 20. You know, we'll kick in 20% of whatever you donate. Right? And then they're just like subsidizing more donations, letting people kind of plutocratically drive the donation. But what quadratic funding does is it says, we will square root the value of your donation, and then that counts as points. And the more points that a project gets, the more the matching pool they get. So what this does is it means like if I donate $1, that's worth 1 point. If I donate $100, that's only worth 10 points. So it's kind of like a mitigation of plutocracy. It's still a factor, like how much you donate, but it also allows for more individuals to just donate $1 and say this project is great, and then that affects the matching pool. So it adds a democratic element to it as well. And this is this is what I would call like algorithmic governance. It's like there's no politicians. There's no politicians saying, hey, I vote that the matching pool goes this way. You know, there's other projects out there like retroactive funding, where there's an optimism, where there's badge holders deciding things. It's always a shit show. It's always a shit show. Every DAO with delegations is always a shit show. There's some other interesting ways to mitigate it. Like if you still want expertise in there, you don't want to do algorithmic governance. there's this really cool thing called liquid democracy. Have you guys ever heard of this? Can I go into it? Sure. It's, I think it, there, back in the day, like 2016.
It's back in the day.
It's
Yeah,
way
right?
back.
That's
way
back
back in the day.
That's like
Yeah.
each year in crypto is like dog years.
Yeah. Well, and this isn't even crypto stuff. Liquid democracy is actually just like a political science, like theory system where the Pirate Party and like there was this other party called Flux Party actually in San Francisco tried to elect someone that would just vote on whatever their phone said. And their phone would tell them what the people want. And the way the idea was that we could put liquid democracy into a current government system if we elect a person to do what liquid democracy tells them to do. So the way liquid democracy is like direct democracy with a hybrid between direct democracy and like the craziest representative democracy you can imagine, right? So it's kind of a hybrid between, where basically anyone can vote on anything. But if you don't vote, you have delegates in different contexts. So you could say like in a DAO, for instance, you like for liquidity incentives, I want this guy to be my delegate. For like grant programs, I want this guy to be my delegate.
I see.
Right?
I see.
For security technical things, I want this guy to be my delegate. Right? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a technical guy, but I'm pretty good at grants. But I really am not the DeFi guy that's going to tell you about liquidity incentives. But as a delegate in all these DAOs, I need to be an expert in all those things and actually vote in all those things. When really, I should probably just be the grants guy. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like that's probably where I have the most expertise. You should delegate. Some people might delegate to me for security stuff, but like honestly, I would probably delegate to someone else. And that's the coolest thing about liquid democracy. Is that you can delegate to someone, and then they can delegate to someone, and then they can delegate to someone, and you have this whole web of delegations.
It's like a daisy chain.
Yeah. It's like this like network of daisy chains, and then what's really interesting is what matters is who shows up to vote. Because let's say that you delegate to me and I delegate to you for like the environment proposals that are tagged with the environment. And I have like 100 other people delegated to me, but I delegate to you. Only 20 people delegated to you. So if I don't vote, you have all my 100 votes plus the 20 votes plus your votes. So you have 121 votes if I don't. But if I do vote, I have 100 votes and you only have 21, right? So it's kind of like, well, who wants to decide on this decision? And why I believe liquid democracy follows this practice of like, if there's politicians, there'll be corruption. And so liquid democracy, you can just delegate to your mom, and then she can delegate to Oprah Winfrey or whoever the fuck she wants, and it's like, there doesn't have to be, and there hopefully wouldn't be politicians per se. It would just be like expertise would actually naturally arise in these different sectors just because the people who really know and care just have to show up and vote. And then they would actually end up with a lot of voting power based off of how much people trust them to be that expert. So it's like a way that you can still have humans in the loop deciding things. And it's, direct democracy is something that's still practiced in Switzerland. Direct democracy is there's no politicians, everyone votes on everything. So you have this like initiative process. There's a clear process of how votes get to rise to be decided on, and then there's no politicians, just every normal person gets to vote on it. So you still have that aspect with liquid democracy where if it's a big decision, seriously, every single human could vote on it, right? Or, a lot of, like the nice thing is experts in different contexts would naturally arise to be the voters. And then we have like the next kind of governance that I'm really excited about, of course, is like AI governance.
Oh, yeah.
Because one of the biggest problems with governance today is voting. Voting is the dumbest shit. Another hot take. Voting is fucking dumb. It's the dumbest fucking shit. Like, I mean, especially in DAOs, but even in like our normal world. It's like you gotta read up on everything and you're like, okay. All of a sudden you're just asked to be an expert on something. And you're like gonna read this, like in DAOs, it's like you read this forum post, you read the comments of what people are doing, trying to understand what it says on Snapshot or whatever, and you're like, oh, man, I don't fucking know. Yeah, my buddy said it's cool, so I'm just gonna vote yes, right? And it's like, if you had instead an AI DAO, you don't have any of these like proposals that people have to read and get educated on so that they can vote. You just have an AI DAO that people propose to, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that. And it can be all public, of course. And then the AI DAO maybe goes and like asks some people, like, hey, what do you think about this? Or on a regular, like a weekly basis, it just DMs the stakeholders in different contexts. What do you think is important about this? What do you think is important in that? You could have very complex tokenized governance that usually doesn't work right now because like when you have more than one token, it's just fucking confusing. But like the idea that the shareholder token voting is the only kind of voting that matters, like that's just fucking voting. Clearly you need reputation and things like this. True stakeholder management can't be understood by just the token.
Hey, I'm glad we got guys like you on the inside, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate the work you're doing.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks,
all the
man.
knowledge, very helpful. And yeah, we'll have to have you guys back on again soon.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, man.
All
Thanks
right.
for letting me rant.
No problem, man.